What's up, multifarious? It's Dragon here, bringing you episode 3 of Speed Breakdown, here with the second part of our speedrun through Super Mario Bros. 1. So, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, go ahead and click the button on the screen now, and it will take you back to that video before you can start here. Now, let's go ahead and jump into World 5. Now, these breakdowns are meant to be more level-based rather than concept-based. I will make sure to mention any important facts along the way as I can. So World 5 starts the much more difficult second part of this game, 5-1 being no exception to that. Lots of enemies everywhere, lots of tricky jumps that can end in death, and a couple of unfortunately placed bullet bill cannons like we're about to see here, especially in 5-2, with the one in the very beginning. So this bullet bill cannon can choose to kill you if it feels like it. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It will kill you if it feels like it. Otherwise, the level is pretty straightforward. Not really. Lots of hammer bros in the way, more bullet bill cannons as well. And I guess it's probably the hardest level in 5-2, or in World 5 I should say. With the section with the piranha plant and the 2 hammer bros, that's probably the hardest part of the entire level. And then we get to 5-3. I forget about 5-3. So 5-3 is 1-3 redone, just adding bullet bills to it. And while I make this look easy, trust me, these bullet bills will kill you when they feel like it. They do not take mercy upon you. 1-3 gets a lot harder just because of some random bullet bills. And if you noticed, this is 2-4, just with more fire bars. Nintendo wanted to recycle some of their levels, and you'll see later on, we'll be seeing a couple of our levels redone and done much harder than their previous interpretation. But 2-4 was not a problem, and neither was 5-4 this time. 5-4 being the castle that seems to end most runs. Not being a problem seems very generous. Now then, 6. World 6. Now, 6-1 is much like 4-1. Run away from Lakitu, don't stop, grab all the coins, and keep your momentum. Not hard, and not particularly easy this time around. However, 6-2 will be much different. 6-2 is where most of the pipe jumps in this run are meant to occur, because there's a lot of pipes here, and there's a lot of piranha plants in said pipes. But instead, what I'm showing you here is a much safer route through the level that doesn't involve any pipe jumps whatsoever, and still gets a fairly decent time, I guess. It's still risky in some areas. Some piranha plants may show up in places you didn't see here, but nonetheless, this is a pretty safe route through the level. Moving on to 6-3. We don't have any actual enemies in this level. Well, I wouldn't say any, but this level is particularly a platformer level. As in, there is platforms you need to jump on in a correct way that you don't fall into death. And we sort of bypass some of the harder parts by just jumping past them. And the level in a speedrun is very easy. Just one very tight jump underneath one of the flying platforms, and you're pretty much good to go. 6-4. Being 1-4 made harder. You wouldn't think it'd be hard because it's 1-4 done a little bit harder. But no, these fire bars and fireballs get in the way a lot, and they will stop you and they will kill you. Also, starting with World 6, Bowser throws hammers. Now, Hammer Bowser isn't that much different from regular Bowser in the fact that all you have to do is touch the axe at the end and you're fine. In fact, the hammers that Bowser throws don't work all the time. So he can throw anywhere from, I don't know, I've seen 4 to 8 hammers, but only, I believe, 6 of them will actually work. So if you do see 8 hammers, and you happen to jump at the very last 2, you shouldn't take a hit. Although, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Also, 7-1. This is a case of how momentum can get completely thrown away. How was I supposed to get by that? You weren't. Anyway, 7-1 being the first level to include multiple Hammer Bros sections, being a complete pain in my ass for one of the first times ever, of course. However, 7-1 typically is a fairly easy level. There's 2 power-ups in the level in case you do get hit, but nonetheless, 7-1 is in the books. Moving on to 7-2. Now, I mentioned they recycle levels. World 7 is the world of recycling. Welcome to 2-2. Again. So, 7-2 is 2-2 with more bloopers and more swimming. No surprise when I'm going to tell you that 2-3 is going... Oh, hold on. 7-3 is 2-3 with Koopas in the way. So there you have that. That gives me time to address 7-4, and something I might not have addressed in a good way last time. So worlds 4-4 and 7-4 are castles that are known as puzzle castles, in which you have to go a certain way in order to actually trigger the next section. Now, for 4-4, I believe it was top and top. For 7-4, however, it is bottom, middle, top, and you'll see these sections when we get to 7-4. They go bottom, middle, top, then top, middle, top. Now, these won't make sense now, but in a second they will. But incorrectly going through these levels will result in you looping through parts of them. So, you'll see an instance of that in this video, as I unfortunately do not abuse the second section correctly, and thus have to do the section again. Anyway, 7-4 is the last puzzle castle in concept, but 8-4 is a much different concept, I guess? I wouldn't say concept, but anyway. So you see here, I have to redo the second part of the castle because I incorrectly input the areas for the second part here. But with 7-4 done, we just have one more world to complete, world 8, and 8-1 is where the jumping starts to get more precise. So, starting with 8-1, we're just going to go ahead and game over here and regain our lives, the process known as refilling. And with that, we'll actually be on our way through the level. So, this level is going to consist more of jumping over piranha plants and jumping over Goombas. Nothing new here, except for, well, we're going to have more precision jumping, and that's really about it. I don't know, 8-1 seems to have that sort of, it's getting harder, but it's not that much harder than what it was kind of deal to it. Whereas World 7 wanted to try and kick you in the face with Hammer Bros and then put you in levels that were meant to be much harder than their predecessor. And now, moving on to 8-2. We have more Lakitu, because this game needs more Lakitu. So, this is the only part of the level, or part of the run where I actually stopped to get a power up. And it's not for 8-2, it's for 8-3. Because 8-3, if you didn't like Hammer Bros, you're not gonna like 8-3. 8-3 is gonna be a pain, because there's only about 10 enemies in the level, and they're all Hammer Bros. So yeah. Anyway, we're nearing the end of this run, surprisingly, and I'd just like to thank Multifarious again for hosting this series of videos. Next week, hopefully we'll be picking a game with a bit more tech to it. Super Mario Bros. 1 is basic, yes, in concept, but it is difficult to actually execute a perfect run. And you'll notice that by the thousands of attempts the runners actually do put in to get the times down to such a level. But again, I'd like to thank Multifarious, and I'd like to thank those that are watching. I hope you all have enjoyed this video, and I hope you look forward to the next one. I'm not going to spoil which game it is, because even I haven't picked it out yet. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment about anything you've seen in this video down below, and I hope to see you here for the next video. Peace.